Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, assorted members of the Age of Mythology Committee for the advancement of all things Age of Mythology, I present to you Mythic Wars. I present to you a game between two titans of Age of Mythology. We got the up-and-comer from the Uwu team. Uwu. His name is Jack 90. And he's going to be playing some Gaia. His opponent today, a veteran. The winner of, what was it called? Masters of Mythology. I believe it was in 2022. It was his first Age of Empires, Age of Mythology Extended Edition tournament. S-tier tournament there. And he won that one. But it's Ulyses, AOT, and he is going to be playing Oranos. The map, Erebus, the map. And the reason why I love this pick here for our man Jack down the bottom is he is going to be on a mission in this game to right the wrongs that the developers chose for the color of this map. The developers came in and they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make this Erebus map and we're going to make it this color. And Jack's goal here with Gaia, it's not to win this one. It's just to make it look very, very nice for everyone to look at. Nice little green, bit of blue splotches all over the place. A couple of like little plant things popping out. It just looks beautiful. It's just nice. Happy days. All right, we'll see how this one's going to go. I haven't seen a Oranos versus Gaia matchup in quite a while. I really don't know how it goes. I think there's probably somewhat of an advantage for... It's probably an advantage for Oranos in the early stages of the game because there is going to be that shockwave. But there is a way for the Gaia player to play very, very defensively and take away a lot of the stuff. I know the plant things are part of the map, but when you put the Gaia Lush underneath these plant things, they go from this sort of gray on very poo brown color into a kind of a nice little green on poo brown color. It looks come on. It looks nice. Just work with me here, guys. Work with me. Nonetheless, yeah, I don't know what this matchup's going to go for, but the big advantage here that Jack does have is that he is playing against a god that he knows in and out. All right, let's see how this game's going to go. Over on this side, I got the Pelt of Argus, a couple of relics. Let's have a look at anything useful over here. Got Kopesh of Horus could come in very, very clutch. There is a world where going for Prometheus here makes some sense from Ulyses. However, what is this build order? What is this abomination of a build order that Ulyses is going for here? Ulyses has said, guys, I see your 355 pickaxe advance time with a hand axe advancing to the classical age. I see your 420 pickaxe hand axe advance time, and I raise you a Prometheus advancing. Wait, did he lose an oracle? A Prometheus. Hold on, I'm getting confused. He must have. Sorry, let me finish my train of thought. A Prometheus advancing at 5 minutes or something with hand axe pickaxe. The ultimate in greed. An absolute madman. And Jack makes a big read here. This is... Whenever somebody advances really, really late, the like textbook response to it is grab a fast second town center, because the advantage that you get from advancing late is you get a couple of villages out earlier. Now you're gonna obviously lose that advantage when your opponent catches up after the next minute, but that means like say you advance 30 seconds later than your opponent, that's probably something like 120 extra resources. But if your opponent advances this late and then drops a town center, like is happening here, Jack is going to get his second town center up first, meaning he's going to be able to be in front on villages for a significant amount of time. And that's going to be able to give him the advantage back in this matchup. But I can't believe we're seeing both of these guys just go for a second town center here. Absolutely wild. In fact, Ulyses goes for a kind of rubbish town center over here as well. I'm also confused as to why there is an oracle that got picked off. Maybe Jack went for a shank and I just completely missed it, but maybe he deleted it? I don't know. He could have deleted it because he was missing a house or something. The shades? Ah, it was the shades. I see. Okay. I'll accept it. I'm not happy with it, but I'll accept it. Town center finishing up for Ulyses, and after all is said and done, the damage here looks to be an advantage of 2 citizens. Oh, 1 citizen. Which is effectively what you would expect from something like this. So 1 citizen advantage, meaning Jack is going to be able to be in front on the economy a little bit. Not only that, Jack can also grab himself all of these economic upgrades, which he definitely should, considering the second town center is up, and he's going to be able to pump out whatever he's going to want to have. Nonetheless, counter barracks all over the place going up, and we'll see where to next for Ulyses. As, wow, an immediate Thayer from Jack. Jack just goes, if we're just going to do this, let's do it. You know? Let's not mess around. Let's do it. He's moving forward. Double mana coming into the center of the map, so he's got some safety here. Oh, never mind. He sees the Terma and he says, I'm not going there anymore. He does have all the chickens in the back of his base. He's got some... no, he doesn't have any ability to grab food. If he wants to do this this sort of a build order and go for this sort of an advance, he's going to have to go into farms. So, probably not the worst idea to just stay in the base, go into farms, and just take the L on it a little bit. But nonetheless, we'll see what the response here from Ulyses is going to be. Now, the thing is, with a fast heroic, you can just make catapulties if it's going to be a whole bunch of Tartarians coming out. So, I'm not 100% sure what the serious game plan is here for Jack. Probably a better idea to get a couple of units out, try and secure the middle of the map, and go from there. But nonetheless, we see the Terma coming in. And Ulyses is on the retreat for the time being. Whoa, nice little attack there as the Terma does manage to get back to safety. He's got to dodge a couple more arrows. We'll be able to re-heal that one back up to full HP, but that was a nice little catch there for Ulyses. Give a little bit more of a pain here as a mana and a wall here. I like this idea from Jack. If he can prevent the Terma from getting in here, he probably doesn't need to pump too many more of these dudes out. As we are seeing alluvial clay, 5 oracles out at the moment for Ulyses, and Ulyses is clearly planning some sort of all-in. Nice little shockwave. Not a nice shockwave at all. The citizen will be able to survive here. If he got the citizen killer, it's a very good shockwave. Totally fine to go for that at this stage of the game. But not able to actually pick the unit off. And Jack gets a nice little advantage there. There's a couple of Terma heroes to come through. Prometheans on the way. Good shooting here from Jack as Ulyses still trying to apply pressure. There's really no need to get too crazy here. The gold mine over here is very, very safe. This is very, very defensive. Ulyses has got to be thinking about getting set up on this front with sky passages on these gold mines and making sure his economy is close enough to Jack's, given the fact that he gets to have all the hunt and he's basically limited Jack from leaving his base. He gets to have all the hunt, doesn't have to put any farms down, and then basically bleed Jack out in this game. That's got to be the game plan. Jack here, still not advancing through Thayer. We are seeing Hyperion on the way. Could be the idea to go into Satyrs or something. He still has a huge amount of favor to come through. Has spread out his oracles all over the map. There's some mana's going up all over the place. Still not a single sky passage up just yet from Ulyses, which is a little bit of a surprise for me. I can't overstate how much economy you gain by putting sky passages in the right place. If you don't have to walk your villages anywhere, like let's say I had to bring these villages from here over to here. Not a long distance. But if the fact that it takes 10 seconds or 20 seconds to get over there means I'm gaining a ridiculous amount of resources by not having to walk there. It's now the Heroic Age in for Jack. Now, one big advantage here, little known big advantage here for the Thea user, if you've got all these Terma out, is, what's it called? It's not Spirited Charge. It's Poseidon's Secret. It's Poseidon's Secret. It actually gives the Terma extra speed. And makes them cheaper as well. But obviously, the cheaper doesn't matter because the unit's already out. But nonetheless, cheeky little Carnivora to come down and try and deny this. It's not going to be able to do all too much damage as the units coming through. And now, Ulyses on 3 town centers. And Jack stuck turtling still on 2. Meanwhile, up onto this side, a couple of Promethean offsprings just hanging out on this town center. Again, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just set up a sky passage on this position so he's got the ability to move over there nice and quick, but not happening just yet. And now we've got 7 oracles. What is the plan here? Okay. The plan for Ulyses has to be some sort of mass hero here, no? I like it. We'll see if it's going to work. Good little bit of damage here. Is there a ballistics? No ballistics just yet. Whole bunch of units up onto the top side, getting the damage done. Trying to secure this town center. There's the Terma pulling back. Poseidon's Secret does take a hot minute to come through. But you look at that, 10% extra speed on a 5.0 speed unit. And then you got the Lush as well. As Jack has yet to start expanding that out. But it's going to be a big advantage when he's on top of that. I'm actually interested in how fast they move. 6.3 speed! It's kind of a big deal. Terma over here, however, going to get caught out as Ulyses moving up onto this position. Jack not respecting this in the slightest here. Now he's going to try and at least get some trades here. Nice little shoot and scoot micro. Picking off a couple of Terma. Leading these guys astray. This is a big win for Ulyses if he can actually pick them all off. Meanwhile, the Palace coming up. An attempt to move up onto this side. Villager differential is pretty close. So the town center that Ulyses has grabbed has not really given him all too much. But the double Hesperid's trees are in. Jack's army quality is looking very nice here, given that it's all these Murmillos, but he's got to be careful what he does next. I think his main goal should be trying to get the town center up. He doesn't need to kill the Oranos. He needs to secure this gold mine. He needs to grab the 3rd town center. He needs to get to implode. He's going to be in a good spot. But Ulyses here has already clicked up to the Mythic Age. Chaos gets dropped down. Huge damage coming into this one. Shockwave after Chaos is finished. And Jack says, I'm ready to turn around and take this fight regardless. You don't have enough units here. And he might just be right there. The army quality for Ulyses is not quite there just yet. Huge amounts of units getting queued up here for Jack as well. As the Carnivora gets dropped down onto the back. Sniping units in. And the heavy cavalry on the way, a little bit of an attack up to the top here. We'll see if Ulyses' early Mythic Age here is going to be a good thing or a bad thing, or probably not going to be a bad thing, but going to be enough to like help him out here because Jack has hit a nice little amount of damage while staying heroic age. We also see Masons coming through. That helps keep the Tartarian gate alive for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Jack still doesn't have his third town center, but maybe it doesn't matter. He's getting himself fortified town centers, upgrades coming through, all the units queued up as well. And now Sons of the Sun also queued up. There's this really, really strong late game idea here when you're playing Oranos, which is when you go for Prometheus and you go for, well, also if you have Thea as well, it's even better, but nice Tartarian gate to come down into this position as the army needs to move over there, has to take this fight here. But you can go for Prometheans, plus getting Celerity and Mythic Rejuvenation. Obviously, if you also got Thea, you can go in for Dryads as well. But the army here for Ulyses seemingly dominating this position as Jack needs to pull back into his main base. And he is in for a very difficult position right now. Huge amount of units still queued up. He's got 8 barracks. Look at all the Contarius here. As he's trying to finish off the Tartarian gate, 400 HP remaining. Architects queued up, but it is not in fast enough. Not able to get that HP down as the building is taken out. The Tartarian spawns go down, but Ulyses has now got full control in the middle of the map. We see a town center attempting to get finished up. Ulyses didn't notice. I didn't notice, but Ulyses didn't notice even more. And Jack is up to 3 town centers now. Now Jack decides it's time to charge forward. He's got all these Contarius, but he's diving straight head first into a bunch of Sates here. And why are there Tartarian spawns over here? Someone explain? I do not understand. But the army quality here for Ulyses, is it going to be enough? Arcus not the best here against those Contarius in the slide. It's a whole bunch of Hero Terma getting converted as well as Ulyses needs to pull back. Yeah, I don't know what these Tartarian spawns are doing. I don't understand. But Ulyses, he's in a lot of trouble actually. He doesn't have the economy. As the Contarius swinging around onto the backside here to take down these units. Meanwhile, onto the left side of the map here, Ulyses is going to be losing the palace. And Jack is all over him. Atlas now queued up. I think I actually wouldn't mind seeing the Hecate from Jack here, to be honest. I don't know if maybe Implode is going to do some serious damage. There's full champion in is the problem. And Implode only doing 100 damage to everything? I don't know. Whereas if you go for the Tartarian gate, then all of a sudden your Dryads are going to be like super Dryads. Unless Shockwave onto this spot. Jack needs to retreat back. There's more military barracks up. Jack's got the upgrades, or not the upgrades, he's got the levy upgrades, so his units are training pretty quickly here. Let's take a quick little stock take of economic upgrades. Missing Quarry, but has all the other upgrades. Ulyses has got everything. So Ulyses' economy right now is better. He's also got Valor. Or not Valor, Prometheus. So he's got that extra upgrade. But none of those, a very, very few amount of these citizens are actually heroized. There's always this option right now for Ulyses to not take the fight straight away, but to sit on this economy and heroize everything. Because you can push your military valuation from 6,000 up to like 12,000. This is something that only the Atlanteans can do. So if you can like delay and you can just build up this insane army that your opponents just can't kill, then it sort of lights out for your opponent. But obviously like Jack can do the same thing, but he doesn't have the same amount of economy or favor income, mind you. And now we see a Titan coming in. 6 of the Titans now queued up, but Implode drop down onto the army and all of the Arcus are going to get cleaned up. All the Arcus going to get cleaned up here. Huge damage. As a boom, the big bada boom comes out. And Ulyses drops down to 169 population. The Tartarians rejoining onto this fortified town center. Dryads making their way over as well. And can Jack finish this off? Fortified town centers has made it through. The villagers repairing this one. We see the Titan gate click down. Over onto this side, one Carnivora in to cause a little bit of a distraction party over here as the town center will fall. Any plan to go for a Titan here for Jack? He probably needs it. As he finishes the town center, going to be taking some villagers out. But the thing is, with Ulyses putting this amount of villagers onto the Titan gate, that means that all of a sudden Ulyses has got no economy. So for the next, how many seconds? 138 seconds, Jack can do some serious damage. As the palace ends up falling here, over onto this side, the couple of citizens going down as well. Can Jack make it work? Ulyses has been in control for the entirety of this game thus far. Armory going down on the right side. Let's have a quick armory stock take. Both players with full bronze. That's it. There is a world here where Jack can just get himself out, say, let's say like 3 extra oracles. Get this technology here to make his infantry units nice and cheap to heroize. And then he can potentially try and just fight the Titan off himself. As the town center attempting to come back over here as some Murmillos are through. It looks like this is not going to be denied. 10 seconds remaining. We'll finish up there. But there are a lot of eggs being put into this one basket of this Titan. And the real question is, can Jack defend against it, basically? If he can kill off the Titan, he's in a really good spot. Obviously. But picking off the Titan, that's challenging. How are the gold mines going? 2,000 over here. 3,000 over here. Or 4,000 over there. As the Argus comes in, drops that special ability onto the back here. We got the Chaos getting dropped down. And the Titan now says, hello there, good sir. I am here. I'm going to make a big yell, roar, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to start wandering in to make Jack's life very, very tricky. Town center on the left-hand corner here. Looking like it's going to fall yet again, but does that matter? I don't think it does. Ulyses has lost a house as well somewhere along the line. It's the 180 HP remaining. Village is getting pulled. Are they going to get there in time? It looks like they do, but the fire siphon going to be more than enough to finish that all off. As the Titan just says, let me just wander into your base. I'm here to kill you. I'm going to kill off the villagers on this gold mine here as he comes in, whacks the ground. Like, stay alive with a little bit of HP. Probably best to not use that special ability there so they don't fly away from the Titan, but nonetheless. Jack still has himself a population advantage here, but he does need a whole bunch of hero units. He's making the hero Contarius right now as Ulyses in a little bit of trouble as his Titan isn't close to anything. These Contarius here are going to do gigantic amounts of damage. Where's the army for Ulyses? He needs to get it all in onto this position. This is going to be a huge amount of damage. This is absolutely huge for Jack. And he's sort of AFK. Villagers idle all over the place. We're even seeing a random destroyer raid onto the palace. As the army now making its way in. But look, the Titan's already down to 9,000 HP. It's already dead. What has Ulyses done? He's just thrown this. He's completely just thrown this. 3,000 HP in a dream now with the Titan. He doesn't even have Mythic Rejuvenation. He's now researching it. The hero Arcus coming over to finish this Titan off. At least, the least he could do is finish off the town center. Up onto the top side, the gold mine getting cleaned up. Both players strapped for gold at the moment. There is one gold mine remaining over on this side with 1,000 gold. This gold mine over here, 3,000 gold remaining. A hero is getting converted yet again. Titan down to 1,000 HP. Town center falls. But so too does the Titan. I think the logo looks cool, no? Just the logo over there? No, that looks cool. I like it. I'm a big fan. Let's go Mythic Wars. Alright, so Jack has dealt with the Titan. He needs a town center back. He's got how much gold left? He's got 2,000 gold. He's got a trade route going. Village differential is equal. Gold in the center getting stolen away from Jack is a big deal. Town center on the way back up. What am I saying? Town center on the way. Both players really struggling for resources. But, for whatever reason here, the military population for Jack is in the lead. The military resource population for or value for Jack is in the lead right now. He pushes through. He's breaking through the Arcus. He's breaking through the Murmillo. Ulysses needs like catapulties or something. Murmillos are great, but without that bite of the shark, why not just make catapulties? It's the palace to get taken out. The gold mine here, this is the problem. This is where this game is going to get into a very, very messy thing. The Contarius continuously raiding this gold mine is gigantic because if Jack can get up into this spot, grab this gold mine, that's 3,000 gold there for him. Over here, this gold mine as well getting taken out is a big deal. Both players at a very similar amount of population here now, though. Ulyses might be able to make this work here. Jack pulls back, but he's got to move forward as well. He needs this position. He does have the trade route going. He doesn't have the full Gaia Lush highway set up, however. He's got to be careful right now. He can't be taking head-on fights. The citizens moving over onto wood. Selling wood for 24 gold. That's the plan. Ulyses might be able to convert here. Contarius moving up, looking to hit this gold mine yet again. The trade route has started. It's 49 gold and a dream, going to the wrong town center, unfortunately, with half of that trade route. And it looks like Ulyses may, just may, be able to convert here after the absolutely most ridiculous Atlantean war I think I've seen in recent memory. This game has been an absolute slog of brutality. But even as I'm speaking, for whatever reason, Jack somehow managing to push back yet again with literally 9 caravans, 64 gold per minute coming in. 64. That's not enough. Mermillo coming over onto this side as well. The Dryads are going to be huge to help out. A whole bunch of Arcus queued up. He wishes he could get a Titan out. Imagine if he could get to that Titan right now. All of a sudden, Ulyses would not really be able to fight against it because he doesn't have the resources to make all the heroes. So Mermillo's trying to push forward. One last ditch effort here for Jack. As his pathways to victory are slowly closing in this game. And I don't know what else he can do. The fire siphon's breaking through 13 trade to 36 villagers on food right now for Ulyses. A pallet's coming up in the face of Jack as well. The town center about to fall. A last-ditch carnivore to come in, but that gets insta-killed by all of those satyr there. A potential chaos could get dropped down to add salt to the wound. But in the 32 minute of this ridiculous game 1, Ulyses manages to convert the victory after throwing away a Titan, after losing his town center, after getting into a very scary position with losing a ton of gold on the gold mine. Absolute chaos from beginning to end. But game 1 goes to Ulyses, and guess what? We've still got another potential 4 more games to go in this series. Best of 5 it is. Mythic Wars for your, what's today? Friday evening. What a time to be alive. Make sure you hit the follow button if you're not already following, and we'll see you in the next one. Alrighty, we are back with game number 2. First game, an absolute insane showing from the man, the myth, the legend, Ulyses, as he is going to be moving in from his Oranos into the next Atlantean god he has in his possession, Kronos. Jack, on the other hand, narrowly missing out on that first game there, does decide to go in with the Zeus. And we see some tech here. I love this. Kinda. I don't think it actually matters. But, I mean, part of Age Mythology, and I was talking about it with Yodesla the other day, part of what makes Age Mythology great, and Age Mythology Retold great, is how awesome the art is. How awesome the graphics are. And if in a game with graphics as awesome as Age Mythology Retold, we also need aesthetic. We need an aesthetic base. We need things rotating around. We need to be able to see all angles of the storehouse instead of just one. And we do get to see all angles of the storehouse when we zoom around and enjoy all of the fun things. Oracle very valiantly wandering forward, and Jack says, "Get back here, Sonny Jim. You're not allowed to be this close to my base and get away with it." As she says, "Shanky me, shank, shank. I'm going to come in here and put an end to you. Your big Your big staff here is no match for my big sword. Well, my tiny big sword. As the Kataskabot's going to come through as well. A little bit of a shank as well. Now, there is a way to counter this if you're playing as Kronos. It's very, very simple. You just time shift the mana. And then you garrison the Oracle. And then the villager sits there being very silly. Anyways. Onwards and upwards. We see Athena coming through for Jack. And a late advance here from Ulyses again. I think Ulyses did a ridiculously late advance time in the last game as well, no? Why advance fast with Kronos? Why advance fast with Kronos when you can just advance slow? Why do it? That's what Ulyses is asking. He says, holy 3... A temple deconstruction as well, just to delay. Absolutely insane. Yeah, why advance fast when you can advance slow? Why put 1 citizen on a temple when you can put 3? I don't think there was any real necessity to rush that up. He had all the time in the world. Never mind, he's... Nope, yep. There's no reason to rush that up. He's going for a 5-minute and something advance time. Insane. Anyways, age up from our main man, Jack, as we've got some relics here. We've got the Pygmalion statue. Give you an extra little bit of HP there. Over here, we've got the Tusk of the Iron Boar. Cavalry hit points plus 10%. Over here, we've got ourselves the Ulyses bow. Oh, I love this relic when I'm playing as anyone with a ranged unit riding on a horse. Any range unit that's quick, I love this technology. It's really, really fun. Extra 1 range is big deal. And a Tusk of Dankang as bolts. Onto the Oracle hero. He says no Tusk. Oh, he has Tusk of the Iron Ball, and he's got Ulyses bow. Those Terma that Ulyses could potentially make here would be gigantic. Yes, he has his economic upgrades. Jack, on the other hand here, just going for the town center. The Jason on his way forward. As double counter barracks for Ulyses, and Jack is off to a really good start here. The problem for Jack, is that he has no good resources around this second town center. So he's got one of 2 options. Option number 1 is get this walled off immediately. Then he's got access to the Aurochs in the corner. He's got this over here. He's got this over here. And then he can potentially, you have to get Prometheans over here. You know, Heracles and Jason can defend and all the other good stuff. But this is really, really nice. If we take a quick look at what Ulyses sees, it's not a lot. He doesn't know what's happening. He's going to be going straight forward with these Terma. This is a great start for Jack in this game. Yeah, the granary here probably doesn't make sense. Probably should have put the granary in the middle and then lured the bears underneath the granary, but that's fine. So long as he doesn't lose it out there, he's good. As this relic going to get grabbed. Tusk of Dankang is kind of a big deal as well when you're on 2 town centers, because all of a sudden, those 3 cows end up becoming a big deal. He's also got the Tusk of the Iron Boar in here, and we do have Pygmalion statue and Ulyses bow for Ulyses after the dust settles from that early game. Meanwhile, military academy for Jack. He's got Apollo already pre-queued. A little bit like, you're not going there. That's not happening anytime soon. But going to be fully walled up and put a stop to all of this Ulyses aggression here. And Ulyses is going to have to think about what he actually wants to try and achieve here with Kronos. Meanwhile, the Terma sneaking through over here. He might be able to hit this position. There's no wall over here. The Terma are going to be spotting the town center. Spot a villager. Not going to be able to pick off the villager, but gets a little bit of damage onto that one as he retreats back. More Terma to come through. And a hoplite out. The damage starting to come in. 15 range on these Terma without even having medium archers in. There's a Minotaur. Headbutts. Terma sniping a hoplite. Almost sniping a hoplite. Losing one, but doesn't quite get the other one. Just trying to basically get damage done as the hero term is coming in to try and deal with the Minotaur. Great split here from Ulyses. This is what Ulyses is known for. It's this early game micro is so obscenely good. He's so good at this sort of control. But nonetheless, Jack is getting away with murder on this position, grabbing berries. He's still got this open. This is still open. Very, very dangerous. Heracles now in. Any attempt at a wall over here would be gigantic if you can get that wall up. Like push the Terma all the way back with the hoplites, lose them. Doesn't matter so long as the wall gets up behind it. As a wall up onto this side, you don't even have to... Oh, good dodge! You don't even have to finish the wall because this is only Terma as the hoplites charging forward. 4.9 speed hoplites are almost enough to match the speed of the Terma, but if the Terma's numbers get big enough, it doesn't really matter. As he does manage to pick off both of those villagers there. Another hoplite falling. A couple of Terma going to go down on the retreat here as well, but still, all the hoplites are going to be in a lot of trouble here from this micro from Ulyses. But I don't think Jack's going to mind so much about this. So long as he's limiting the numbers, getting good trades, and then just pulling back, totally fine. A couple of Prometheans coming in, it's going to scare him off. The wall does not get finished over here, but not the biggest of problems. As this Terma getting caught out of position. That's going to get sniped. And the villagers to get pulled back as well. And Jack retreats back. He will have to deal with those Prometheans somehow. His heroes are on the wrong side, but he can get a Jason out over here to come over and try and deal with this. Now Jack is getting closer and closer to the Heroic Age, which means closer and closer to Peltas, which means closer and closer to an answer to these Terma. And now he's clicked up Aegis Shield. Also on the way as Ulyses is just full send in this game. Prometheus, how many? He's got himself 7 oracles. They're not all in a great spot, but he's got 7 of them. Probably about 6.5 at the moment with the current situation he's got over there. As the villagers making a break for it, they've been spotted. He can run around this way and try and get back home, but this is a really, really big deal. There's no units out here for Jack. He might actually have to underworld back home. Huge find for Ulyses, as Jack is now in a lot of... he's in a lot of trouble. In fact, the Terma are just going to pull back and try and greet these villagers on the retreat path. What is this pathing, though? These guys are just struggling with the tree line. They're struggling with the tree line. The hoplites coming in have to sacrifice their lives a little bit here. As the Heroic Age has hit for Jack. Jack manages to keep the villagers alive. Huge amounts of idle time, however, on 20 villagers. Oh my god, that's like... That had to have been like a minute of idle time at the very least there. As the villagers all pulling back into the main base. No archery ranges up just yet for Jack. Town center coming down over here for Ulyses as well. Semantic getting a snipe there. Nice little move there. Barry's getting cleaned up. Still no archery range. I'm not exactly sure what Jack's plan is, but he's going to come over onto this gold mine. He could underworld from like this position here to this position here. Or something like that. And then if he gets pushed off over here, he's got a little bit of time to play with. But a couple of archery ranges now coming down for Jack. Very, very slow on getting this army together. And Ulyses is building a very big lead. Still pumping out Promethean, mind you. He's only got the 1 temple. If you've got 7 oracles, you can afford 2 temples consistently training Prometheans. It's the heroes to charge forward, trying to get on top of these Terma here. Hoplites getting some good damage done. Prometheans not going to cut it here. And Ulyses has to pull back. He's going for a 3rd town center. I don't mind this, but I would have preferred it if he grabbed this town center and this town center rather than this back one. If you're ever on like the offensive and you've got your opponent contained, take the forward 2 town centers. Don't bother with your back one. Because that way there's no way for your opponent to like sneak the town center up or whatever. Or if they are going to sneak one up, it's going to be in the middle of nowhere and not very good and close to your base. You still don't have a heroic age in for Ulyses just yet, but his pressure is mounting nicely. And now Rhea, the god of choice. I'm not surprised to see Rhea here. I mean, he can go either one, I think, at this point and be okay. I think I actually probably prefer the Hyperion to just have the Chaos, but Rhea's going to be fine. You get Super Murmillos to transition into. You get yourself the Behemoths to attack. Some resources back off of your favor to get even more favor in. To make a whole bunch of heroes. As the Prometheans now taking this down, we see a 4th town center from Ulyses. Sometimes it's a little bit dangerous because your opponent might be able to hit Mythic Age, might be able to lightning storm your army, and might be able to kill everything off and you can never get back up to full population. But if you're going to go for this 4th town center, you just have to sort of go, great, we get the 4th town center, and then we just pump units up to full pop and attack. And it can be very tough to defend that army. Right now, Jack really needs this technology here. Heavy range soldiers. The Peltas are going to be great. Do we see a trader there onto the man? Wait. Huh? A trader onto the what? I think he went for the Manticore but misclicked. I think he misclicked. Jack holding well for the time being. Still has a long way to catch up in this game. Does have Underworld to bring this one back. Heavy range soldiers now coming in. Will make these Peltas incredibly tough to deal with. The other thing here for Jack is he doesn't have an armory. He doesn't have any ballistics. He's got nothing. Whereas Ulyses, on the other hand, he's got a bunch. He should be rushing out this ballistics tech now that he's hit the heroic age so that his Terma can do a huge amount of damage. But the Peltas cleaning up the Terma nicely. And he's going to be pulling back. You almost need to just charge in and just target the Peltas down. Take a couple of losses on that first shot and then just go. He's got the army numbers. He would win that fight there, but not going for it just yet. There is a restoration still available though for Jack. Oop, and Jack now coming in with a Pegasus. Problem is he doesn't have any hoplites out. So he can't actually make his Underworld work here. There's the Peltas wandering forward. Wait, he didn't... Wait, I was looking at the wrong person. I was looking at Ulyses. Ulyses has got the heavy Terma. Ulyses has him. Now we see the heavy archers coming through for Jack. Never mind. Retreating back up here as the hoplites are in. Caraballas are going to get sniped down. Jack happily able to take some fights here, but he is struggling for population a little bit. The big thing you can do here as the 2 town center player is get to fortified town centers. But the problem here for Jack is that Ulyses is going for Atlas. Now, does Jack... Oh, he goes for the Underworld. I was gonna ask if Jack has Oracle. He could snipe the town center that's going for Atlas. He actually finds it. He actually finds it. Accidentally or not, he's hitting the right town center here. This is huge. Atlas is going to get cancelled. The Peltas pushing forward to try and take this fight. There's no front line for him, so the Terma are going to do a decent job of actually trading here. And Ulyses doesn't even cancel it. He just leaves it here. This game has just turned on its head, because if Ulyses had any other town center, that's like a 1 in 4 chance to find the right one there. I mean, it's normally is you could get Oracle and then spot it, right? And then Underworld onto it. But Jack didn't do that. He straight guessed. Atlas is now queued up again, but Jack's just been given an extra minute in this game. The main town center now going down. No Atlas over here. Palace trying to go up onto this spot. The Hoplite's going to clean that up quickly. We do have a cheeky little Manticore trader on this spot, but the Manticore and the Odysseus immediately going to take that one down. Jack retreating back to his fortress. Deconstruction down onto the fortress there as well. As now Ulyses is going to be making a transition into Arcus here. Probably no need to build Arcus at this point. Probably need to make Murmillo and Contarius here. There are some Hoplites, so it makes some sense to get some Arcus out, I guess, but you don't want to go for too many of them. So much favor in the bank as well, and nothing to spend it on here at the moment. As the Behemoth managed to get in here. Good damage onto the Peltas, because the Peltas are moving forward to try and attack those. Just get good damage onto these Terma. As the Behemoths going down, Jack still managing to win this fight here, but Atlas is just about to pop. Population-wise, 90. All of the Peltas are going to die. The Hoplites going to live with 44 HP. Implode gets dropped down. Hoplites retreating out this way. Nice move from Jack. He tries to get out of here. Will he be able to? One Hoplite survives on the edge here. Couple of villagers getting dragged in as well. Not ideal. A huge amount of units now queued up. Jack's going to be able to get back up the population immediately here. And now Ulyses back up to 4 town centers. Has this Argus here. This could be huge if Jack doesn't pay attention. You got to be careful with it. Special attack does nothing. Now a cheeky little raid up to the top left of the map. Trying to deny all of this. There's all Hoplites here. You should be able to defend on this spot for the time being. Armory upgrades for both players. Slightly favoring Ulyses, but that's all. Oh, the Argus getting a special ability thrown down here as the Hoplites need to retreat away. Good awareness from Jack. He knows how potent those Argus are. You have to respect the special ability. Meanwhile, fortified town center starting to go down. Jack gets his 7 HP Manticore stolen. But the town center for Ulyses will be falling. He can't get up to full population here. And Jack is somehow managing to get through this. Restoration to come down from Jack finally. All of his units back up to full HP. And now Jack immediately moves forward to grab the town center. As it's looking like he might be able to secure this position. He's got 1 gold mine on this side. 1 gold mine on this side, actually. Surprised he's been able to grab all of those. Probably a little bit of a misplay from Ulyses to be allowing that here. But nonetheless, Ulyses is continuously taking these fights, not at full population, not able to do anything. He gets some Fanatics out. The Fanatics are really good versus Hoplites. Really good versus Cavalry. But they have no real advantage versus those Peltasts over making Murmillo. Now Jack grabbing himself bronze shields, Sarissa as well. Ulyses just can't get back up to population. I mean, I think it's just... he needs to be thinking about doing something a little bit different here. A couple of palace coming up over here as well. Orichalcum Mail to boost up the Fanatics. Palace going down on this position as well. For the moment here, Jack not able to actually get the resources for Mythic Age, so a little bit more breathing room for Ulyses here. Is now at, still not at full population, still trying to take this fight. Great control here from Jack. Gets another restoration off, and Ulyses has to pull back. I'm not really sure what Ulyses can do now. He's lost control of the middle. He's basically up against a fully upgraded Heroic Age army here. Just missing some armory upgrades. Fully popped. Has resources in the bank. Almost going to the Mythic Age. A Titan, as an idea. A couple of Argus to come through. Maybe some well-placed hero Caraballister or something on the back to help deal with the hoplites. I know those Peltasts are really good at 20 range, but as long as you micro them, if the Peltasts want to run forward and kill them, every time they run forward, you just retreat back. Just the Caraballister, and then your Cantarius can actually take out the Peltast. Obviously, you have to micro really, really well, but micro is something that these players do incredibly well a lot of the time. Like, the advantage is in the Caraballister court, right? Like, you just have to have a keen eye on the Peltast. Do you know what I mean? Like, if there's like a counterplay to something, then you just do the counterplay to the thing. If there's not, then it's advantage to the other player, or whatever. There's now Hera on the way. 1 minute away from popping here. There's the hoplites charging for. They do get into that little splash zone, though. Never get in the splash zone. It's an acid spit. Very dangerous. These Petropolites just continuing to break forward here. And with all the buildings going down, now Ulyses has got no military buildings left. But he drops a Titan Gate in his main base. Jack is searching for it. Jack is finding it. He sees it. He has the favor for an underworld. And he's going to drop it into here. He's got the Petropoli out. He's going onto the Titan Gate. Is this lights out for Ulyses in this game? He's going to be losing this. Lightning Storm dropping down. Hoplites, Petropolis dropping into the underworld, coming back out the other side. Titan Gate down. And Ulyses' chances of winning this game are going to nil as he makes the cardinal sin of tapping out, up score. But he's up scored for what reason? I don't know. Let's look at the post game and see. Military-wise, in front for Jack. Villagers killed. I mean, in front of the end here. Resources collected. Way in front for Ulyses. But he just could not win a fight to save his life in this game. A lot of fighting, underpopulated. A lot of maybe not fully grasping how he can convert a 4-2 town center advantage here. This is a hard thing to do in Age Mythology Retold. It's not like it's very possible, but it's like you have to follow a very strict sort of game plan to make that sort of a play work. The other alternative is you go 3 town centers, the forward one, the back one, and this one. You have some eyes on this back town center, and then you just rush all your upgrades and you're good to go. Otherwise, you have to be playing for the numbers game and making sure you're always taking fights up significant amounts of numbers. But well played to Jack, leveling the series 1-1. We got ourselves a series here, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys are enjoying, make sure you're hitting the follow button, subscribe button, and leaving comments and all the other good stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Game 3 is upon us. Set for Jack. Thor for Ulyses. Map Marsh. 1-1. Both players now settling into the groove for the grueling 5-game series that is a best of 5. I now know from experience, the mental pressure is immense. The concentration needed for the marathon games is unheard of. Well, it's heard of. People have done it before, but it's misunderstood. It's not understood by the average Joe. But both of these players now, with 1 win under their belt, can sigh a little breath of relief. I didn't get swept. It's a serious thing. There's like you don't want to get swept in a tournament game. That's something that you want to sort of go, at least I got 1. At least I got 1. I can be happy from that. Nonetheless, we'll see how things are going to go as Ulyses is opening up with the classic Dwarven Armory opening here. It is the map Marsh. A little bit of a tricky one here because, well, no, he gets the 3 water buffaloes in the main base. So there is a strategy here for Thor, which I think is really, really good against the Egyptian 1 town center pressure, which is basically a semi-fast heroic. Because you've got all of this hunt, you've got all of this hunt, you've got this. You just got to drag this nice and close under your base. And then when you hit the heroic age, you get yourself the Dwarven Mine, and you just have to sit in your base, play really, really scared for a little bit, and then you can push out and you're good to go. There's a really good strategy there for Thor. Not easy at all to execute and actually win, and it is also very, very much up to your opponent to be able to, well, I mean, if your opponent plays well, they'll win anyways, but it's a good way to sort of avoid all of the tropes of this matchup, places where things get really, really well. Avoid all of the things that get, what am I trying to say? All the things that go wrong. Avoid all the things that can go wrong early on, and you're good to go. Well, so let's see if Ulyses is going to go for some sort of that play, or if he's going to try and match the aggression of the set here. Jack getting himself a temple up, houses going down on this spot as well. I imagine we're going to be seeing a classical fight here. I don't know how much Jack has really played set. He's created himself pickaxe here as well. I don't know exactly what... When you're in these tournaments and you're playing a god that you haven't played a lot of, oftentimes the way that players go about it is they learn one strategy. Now, it's not a good way to play tournaments. You want to have a fairly in-depth knowledge. You want to have fairly in-depth knowledge on all of the gods you play. But if you don't know what you're doing, It's better to learn one strategy than have 0 strategies. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Jack going for some sort of classical age idea here. He's only got 1 monument at the moment. He's only got 3 houses. He might be going for a fast second town center and then a classical idea. That can work too. We'll have to wait and see. Vision into the main base. To see all that is going on over here. As the ox cart getting grabbed up onto this position here as well. Berserk coming over here. Try and take out the crowned crane of Set. And the classical age is now in. And a barracks is down for Jack. So he is actually going for the classical fight. But he's going for a classical fight with only 1 monument. Which isn't something we see all too often. Making a whole bunch of spearmen. And then going for it. Maybe just going for the spearmen and then a town center? Not exactly sure. Yeah, the age-old meme of open up with spears as Set, and then transition into more spears. He's actually power pumping these out off of 1 barracks here. As the spear come out, does greet the berserk. A little bit of a poke. Up. Another poke. I'm actually really not sure what he's going for. He's just pumping spears from 1 barracks. Okay, second barracks now coming down. I'm still confused. Nonetheless. Longhouse now up for Ulyses. Watchtowers to come through. There's the spearman trying to just dart in and take out some dwarves here. Not going to be able to quite get in onto that one. There's another longhouse to come through. And some priests as well, as you can start getting a whole bunch of conversions all across the map. Locking Ulyses into his base and grabbing these makes a lot of sense. So we'll see how that's going to go as the throwing axeman getting some big damage done onto those spearmen. And the spearmen have to retreat out. If you can just get back and heal those back up, it gets a little bit of delay on the buildings. There's a market coming up onto the bottom here. And Ulyses may just be thinking, well, heroic age, right? He doesn't have to build that many throwing axemen, just enough to sort of dissuade the spearmen from getting into his main base. He's got watchtowers up. He's got the food, the gold mine here. He's got enough gold to get to the next age. He's got this over here. Not building another ox cart because he's greedy, but he's doing it anyways. Now the question is, which god do you go against Set? I think the correct answer is probably actually Bragi 9 times out of 10. But it might be maybe Skadi for the throwing axe and upgrade could be a good idea as well. And he is going through Bragi, so it makes sense. The reason why Bragi makes a little bit more sense than Skadi is because it locks off, or it gives you a really, really good answer to Camel Rider, Elephant, and to some degree also Chariot Archer with the Herdman. You get Swine Array, and those are just going to hit like a ridiculous amount of damage. As the gold mine expires, and he doesn't have to jump onto like another gold mine straight away. He can just jump over onto the pigs and then wait. There's a spearman trying to break through into the main base here. There are enough throwing axemen for the time being. Bragi now clicked up. Why is there no ox cart here? Someone explain. It's hurting my brain. 1 ox cart, please. 1. It's only 100 resources. As the dwarves gonna move over onto the berry bushes. And he's got so much gold in the bank that he really doesn't need to be on a gold mine right now. He can wait. It's fine. Also, if need be, he can sell 100 food. Not the biggest of deals. That's a great haul. Getting shanked down over here. Throwing axemen on the move forward. Try and get a little bit of damage. Not going to be able to do so as the units are going to just retreat away for the time being. Longhouse coming up for Ulyses over here. As he is well and truly happy to just pump, throw an axeman. It looks like he's going to be getting some berserks out as well. Now, Jack's macro is going places a little bit astray here. He's got a little bit too much gold in the bank, as we do see the Dwarven Mine immediately getting dropped down. And the big thing about using the Dwarven Mine in like the heroic age, with the exception of this like getting 3,000 gold in your main base, it's also, look at this, 1.35 gold per second. He has pickaxe, but 1.35 gold per second with pickaxe. Compare this over here, 0.85. That's kind of huge, no? There's now Cave Troll on the way. Call of Valhalla as well for those berserks to get even more favor in, to get even more Dwarven Mines through. The best thing about the mine is you don't need an additional ox cart. True, he didn't need to build the ox cart at all. He could have just moved the ox cart over here. Could have just been 2 ox carts for the entirety of the game. What's he doing? What was he thinking? There's the obelisk coming up. There's no need for Ulyses to take a fight here. He can literally just sit back and wait. He doesn't have to do anything. Pumping out a whole bunch more throwing action. He sees the army. Goes, oh, more throwing action makes sense. As Berserk's coming in, going to clean up the obelisk, drop the house over here, look for some raids. He does have... Wait, does he? He doesn't have Hall of Fames just yet, so definitely should be considering that upgrade. Super important for your infantry units to get that speed in. As Berserk's running around onto this side, will get greeted by a whole bunch of units, but he does pull back immediately. Nice play. There's ballistics to come in for Ulyses here. And the hill fort now coming up as well. As Healing Spring. Well, I like that little move from the battle board to try and get the hill fort up a little bit quicker. But I don't think Jack can really push in and take this fight. He might be able to. He's trying. The Berserks to come in onto the side here. Throw an axeman pulled off of the hill fort. There's only one remaining on there as it's going to be going up in 4 seconds though. As it looks as if Jack needs to retreat back here. There's the 2 Wadgets going down. Troll getting a big rock throw in onto that spot there. And in that moment, Jack just says, I'm lost. GG. As he taps out. Well, Ulyses executed this strategy very, very well. This is exactly the strategy that I would expect here from Thor against this type of pressure from the set. Did a really, really good job of it. Not getting caught out by anything. Gets the gold mine. Like having 6,000 gold in your main base as Norse is just such a big advantage against this sort of classical pressure that it means that the set players, you kind of need to have a little bit more up your sleeve. A little bit more of the shenanigans going on. It's important, I think. But yeah, unfortunately for Jack, he probably doesn't know that. And he goes in for the strat and tries to make it work, but unfortunately just could not convert here. And Ulyses gets the dub. It's up 2-1 now for Ulyses. As I just looking at the top of the screen, realizing that my UI was incorrect for the entirety of the game. Whoops. Sorry about that. But we'll move into game number 4. Hope you guys are enjoying. Alrighty, game number 4. If Ulyses wins this one, he gets to win the series. So that's first to 3, best of 5. We're going to be seeing a Ra for Ulyses and a Poseidon for Jack. Relics on the map. Let's have a quick look before we talk about the old matchup. We've got Pelt of Argus here. Over on this side, we have the Snowy Pine Tree, which is not a relic. It's a Hestia's Hearth. Villager train time minus 5%. Up on the top side here, we got the Feather of Bifang. And finally, over here, we have Head of Orpheus. So, 2 gold mines, Ghost Lake, Ra versus Poseidon. We'll see how it goes. We do see that Jack here is trying to... I like the idea. The reason why he goes for the back gold mine here instead of the forward gold mine, which would be standard, is because he can share the storehouse with these trees. So I don't hate it, but the forest here is so garbage that you probably only want a handful of villagers on this anyways. But anyways, it's still probably a good idea to do this early on, give you a bit of an advantage over if you did something else. Lately, we have been seeing some Poseidon players on maps like this, or some Greek players on maps like this, not going for a ridiculously fast advance time. Instead, as we are seeing the temple coming up on the front, but instead going for economic upgrades, a slightly delayed advance time, and taking advantage of the extra 50... Well, on this specific map, you don't have to use it, but taking advantage of the extra 50 wood to get themselves out those upgrades a little bit quicker. Which does make a lot of sense, which, yeah, it actually surprises me it took this long, but I guess when you have a strategy that's so potent as the 315 advance or the 330 advance and put pressure onto your opponents, then, yeah, that's a thing. There's the Toskopos searching around. Villagers pulling back in onto the Aurochs over here. And we see Hermes now on the way for Jack. Ulyses, on the other hand, second monument coming up. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Bast here. Bast makes a lot of sense in this matchup. I know that the Centaurs are actually pretty good against Sphinx, but you don't have to build the Sphinx right away. You can sort of wait and see what your opponent's doing, and then build them a little bit later. Maybe even throw up a second temple to get them all out, and then go for the Eclipse sort of idea, or force a ceasefire or whatever. And we do see a third monument. No temple just yet. So he is going for some sort of Bast shenanigans. Absolutely wild. Okay. Spicy. Hermes is already through. Basically. I mean, it's a little bit delayed for some reason, but 10 seconds of delay. Not ideal for Jack as he's going to start moving forward. Temple now coming up for Ulyses on the front here. As it might get up before the Centaur gets over here, but still, this is an absolutely crazy idea from Ulyses. One thing that got changed in this patch, which I'm a fan of the change, but I'm not a fan of the implementation of it, is that monuments no longer get empowered or get affected by the pharaoh empowerment of a different monument. But with that, it means that when you're actually building the monument, it doesn't get empowered up. So you actually have to bring the priest back to empower the monument as well, or micro or whatever. As Bast is now clicked through, Ulyses moving over onto this gold mine, and we'll see what Jack can come up with. Now, the advantage here for Poseidon against this is that the Centaur with Spirited Charge is going to be able to outpace the Sphinx before Eclipse comes in. And then the Centaur will be able to take out the Sphinx as well. So there is an angle to defend against this crazy amount of favor that's going to be coming through for Ulyses. As he comes over to hit the gold mine, the villagers moving over here. And we do have now some Hippias starting to move around and get some pressure onto Ulyses. As now Ulyses is very close to hitting the next age. He's had a lot of idle time forced, as his villagers are literally just roaming around the map trying to figure things out. Oh, this monument is barely missing the granary as well. Hate to see it. As the Sphinx pops out. Not sure what fell there, if it was a villager or not, but a barracks coming down now for Ulyses as he's making a priest out. Can heal up his villagers and all the good stuff. Another barracks coming up onto the top to start spamming out spearmen. And it's going to be some sort of Sphinx spearman idea for Ulyses here as well, as he's starting to get himself the Crow Sphinx. And for now, just the one villager on favor, but I'm sure that's gonna change as Jack is gonna need a lot more to come through very, very soon. As Ulyses grabs just a little bit more wood in, still hasn't got this this wood for the Cryo Sphinx, but feeling like he can't actually get onto a wood line. So he just goes for straggler trees. There's 2 straggler trees here, which is going to be enough for, I think, Cryo Sphinx and Haruko Sphinx. As the Centaur coming through, we also see Spirited Charge queued up. I like the initiative there. 63 favor in the bank for Ulyses at the moment is a lot. So he's still got a lot of Sphinx to actually come out here. As the Sphinx managed to defend over onto this side, pick off one Hippias, gets the villager back out, can move forward, heal that bad boy back up if he so chooses. And so far, so good for Ulyses' defense in the early game to get into this Sphinx idea. Is all the spearmen going to be retreating back? Sphinx waiting up onto this spot as well. And Jack just has to spam out Centaur, I guess. But he does need to make sure he gets this tech. Because once Haruko Sphinx come in, these Sphinx go up to like 5.8 speed as well or something. And they're going to be able to make the Centaur's life very, very challenging to actually get any serious damage off. The idea could be to just get enough Centaur out that you can just snipe the Sphinx down in one blow. What do they do? 18 damage times 3. So nearly, let's just go with 60 damage. So, and this is 60%, so like, let's just go with, like, say 25 damage or something. How many shots do you need to pick off a Cryo Sphinx? Quite a bit. You need a lot of Centaur out. So you can't rely just on that special to snipe anything, I guess. Actually, you could probably guess this from 750 pierce. There you go. 750 divided by 60. There you go. Roughly that. And then, does this give extra HP? Yes. And then add an extra 1 or 2. Anyways, onwards and upwards. Ceasefire down. Eclipse down. And the unit's moving into the center of the map here. Haruko Sphinx now on the way. There will be a little bit of Eclipse left after the fact, so Jack's got to be really careful to not get caught out. But Ulyses is actually moving straight across the map here. As the Hippias to take out the wooden gate over here. Very low HP villager will pull back to safety. And Ulyses goes, hang on, what are you doing back here? Let me get over here and catch you out. This is going to be huge if he can catch Jack out. Jack's got the speed to get out of here at 6.4, but he is moving at the speed of 5.6 with these with this Atalanta in the fight or in the army. As he does pull that one, now trying to chase down this. A couple of Centaur over here as well. He's able to get away from this. As the Centaur over here taking some damage, Atalanta gets a couple of shots off. And that will be one dead Centaur, but will it be a dead Sphinx? Answer? No. Stays alive. 37 HP in a dream. the Sphinx. It's doing so much damage here, and Jack's just in a lot of trouble. He's got himself the Centaur pole mark as well, which will help him keep his Centaur alive a little bit longer. He just doesn't have enough of these bad boys out. 6 villagers on favor. The wood income is looking very awkward with this tree line. I was talking about that early game as well, that was going to be somewhat of a problem. And Ulyses with his Spearman and Sphinx moving down onto this position. There's not really any way to leave, but the gold mine on the back is now finished. Moving on to the forward gold mine. This could spell trouble for Jack here. He's supposed to have 99 track rating, but they miss. I think they have like a... They have an accuracy of 80% though. So there's a... So the track rating means if the shot is sent, right, and it's supposed to hit, it'll hit. If it hits the 20% of the time that it's supposed to miss, it'll miss. Does that make sense? Anyways, Hippias charging into into Ulyses' base here, as it looks like Ulyses is able to easily defend all this. Doesn't really lose that many villages, and Jack doesn't even want to see it out here as he loses everything. And Ulyses takes the series 3-1. I mean, there was some very, very entertaining games in this one. Unfortunately, Jack couldn't work it out on this Ghost Lake map here to force a game 5. But credit where credit's due. Ulyses played a really, really nice game 3 and 4 here. And that's all she wrote for the series. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.